What up, YouTube? Slim here at Team Purple Panda, here for what is, believe it or not, my 200th video. When I started this channel a little over a month ago, I had no idea that I would have this much content, this fast, and that I would have, the amazing response that I have from so many people. I'm really, really touched by like all the, positive feedback I've been getting from a lot of people. I've had a lot of constructive criticism, which I've really enjoyed because I'm not getting people that are saying stupid shit or saying that I'm wrong or whatever. They're challenging my I guess like my ethics and what I believe in this game since I've been in it, since the very beginning. And I love the fact that I'm not getting dumb requests and stuff. I'm getting actual stuff that people want to hear about. And, that's what keeps me, motivated to do so many videos. Having 200 videos in a little over a month, is like ridiculous. People are like, wow, like how do you have that much time? And like how do you, really put that much thought into that much content? Because if you really think about it, if each video is a minimal of 3 minutes and you multiply that times 200, that's a lot of minutes, you guys. It's like 10 hours of video like straight. Like if you watched all my shit, it would take like probably a day. And when I really look at it, I look at it as I've been in this game since it started in '02, and I didn't know anything back then, and I mean here I am now, all these years later, and I mean now I can honestly say I've really understand the game, and I'm really giving back to my community, and I've really come a long way from being just a rogue player that used to play on the schoolyard to now to a place where I can say I know my game. I know, what I want out of the game, and I have so many people that have just shaped my entire career in this game. Specifically, Team Purple Panda. Shout out to them, to my boys, Lee, Vaughn, Anthony. You guys are honestly the best. Shout out to Yuki, Micah, all you guys in SAC. I don't see you guys as much, but the love is always there. Once you're a Purple Panda, you're always a Purple Panda, and that's like unity. That's like family. And, that's what keeps me motivated to do all this, because it's hard when you really you just take a shot at making a channel. I took a shot in the dark and said, you know what, I love this game so much, I need to voice my opinion because there's so many things I have to say in this game. I'm finally getting the chance to do it. So when like when people tell me, Slim guy, God, how do you do it? Like how do you honestly do 200 videos? Like how do you do even 100 of just in this game? And it's like, you guys are giving me the content. You guys, my community, my YouTube subscribers, my supporters, you guys are the reason why I do what I do. I have to be perfectly honest with you guys. You guys have seen me through every video. You've seen every fitted so far that I have, and I mean we've only hit the tip of the iceberg. I have 63 fitted, you guys. I have so many. We're in the SF. This is my where I was born, and this is where the team resides. So I kind of feel it's appropriate for the 200th video that you guys know everything that I've done in the game since it began. And now as I look upon it, we're exactly 1 month away from the September 1st ban list, which is kind of funny that the 200th video would happen on that day. I've said what I needed to say about what Konami needs to do to restore balance to the game. I've said pretty much everything, you guys. I've said, what you need to do to be a good player in this game, how to prepare for your regionals, how to run this deck, that deck, how to beat this deck, what cards are better. We've compared, some of the best trap cards in the game. We've compared these three so many times. We've compared, just decks in general. Talked about, what Konami's done to screw this game, what Konami's done right for once, how decks can OTK with Trishula loops. I mean, we've talked about everything, you guys. We've talked about Yu-Gi-Oh! Style 101. I mean, we've talked about haters, which is a big topic. I've talked about how I want little kids to stop being harassed. I've talked about everything. And, looking at it now, people are like, you might be getting from the tone of this video, oh shit, Slim, is that it? Like, are you out of material? And to be honest with you guys, I couldn't be further from the truth. I have so much more material backed up in my inbox right now that it's not even funny. I just took a moment to step aside from my videos and just really just talk to you guys. This is just big for me as a player, that you guys understand, why I do what I do. I love this game so much, and giving back to the community just means so much for me. There's so many factors of to why I love this game. It's mainly the people I've met, the friendships I've formed, and just like everything this game teaches me. Like you learn to be a humble person through this game, because you're gonna win a lot and you're gonna lose just as much, if not more. And it's, can you get up and like dust yourself off after you lose and say, all right, I'm back to play another day? Or do you throw in the towel at that point? Do you quit? Do you quit the deck that you've been playing because you couldn't win? I mean, I've won so many games with Gravekeepers and lost so many games with Gravekeepers, but I'm still going to keep the deck. People are saying, why the hell are you still running that deck? The deck is garbage. And it's like, really now? I'm like, Gravekeeper are pretty good. Like with Wonder Wand coming out in the new pack, they're going to get even better. And it's your own personal choice. I mean, I could argue with someone, why the hell are you running like GB, or why are you running Black Wings? And like the answer's still the same. It's your personal choice. And at the end of the day, that's what I think people need to understand, is that Yu-Gi-Oh is a game of choice of what you want to play. If you go with what everybody else does, I mean, it's not going to be fun. If you run a deck just because everyone else is running it, it's definitely not going to be fun. And that's what I feel is just like, um, it's just like it's really gotten to me. Like, I know what this game is about now, and I know like what I want in this game, and I've achieved it so far in this game, and I know what I still want in this game. And being a Yugi tuber and being a known Yugi tuber now is what really is making a difference. I got a lot of people that know me. People have been trying to add me through Facebook and stuff. And if you do, I mean, it's cool. Like, I have a couple people on there. Honestly, I'm not gonna talk about the game on my Facebook. This is my personal life in as far as everything but Yu-Gi-Oh. So, like, people add me and stuff, and I'm like, all right, if you got something to say, inbox it to me. But if you're gonna reach me, like, reach me on here. It's a lot easier. Um, like, just going down like through everything I've talked about, I've really talked about a lot of stuff. I've spent hours upon hours talking about this game, and like I said, I've only hit the tip of the iceberg. I haven't even really started to like get into what's coming out. Like, people are saying, what are you gonna do? Like, you can't keep doing card comparisons, deck discussions forever. And I'm like, I kind of can, because cards keep coming out, you guys. As long as Konami keeps printing cards, I've still got material to talk about, because I know there's something out there people want to hear. And I can talk about anything. I've talked about things so out of this game that it shocks people. I'm waiting for someone to ask my opinion on girls in this game, because I mean, I can make a 10-minute video on that. Because I know a couple girls that play, they're really good, and you need to treat them with respect in this game. And it's like, if you don't, I mean, you don't need to be playing. And I mean, I'm looking at everything that everything has been requested to me. We've talked about all the main decks in the meta now. We've talked about rogue decks back in the day. We've talked about decks in the future. We've talked about everything this game has to offer, and now we're going to be talking about the new stuff that's coming out. Once September rolls around, my content's going to be spilling out again, because there's going to be so many new decks to discuss, so many new strategies, and so many, changes of what the list is going to do, what's going to get hit, what's not, what's coming back, what's going away. There's all these things that we have to take into account. And I look so forward to it, because I mean, that's what this game is. This game excites me because it's constantly changing. It never stays the same for longer than 6 months. And I mean, even in those 6 months, so many things change. Like, no one would have expected Tech Genis to win nationals. I mean, that's amazing, you guys. Like, honestly, I mean, that was a big thing that this game needed. Is they needed a deck that wasn't expected to win, and then people would realize, oh man, this deck's really good. And that's what I like about this game, is that you never really know what's going to happen. You think you do, but you really don't. I think I do. I'm not even close. And I mean, when I honestly think about it, like, that's what keeps me playing this game. It's that the game is constantly changing, and we're getting new players, we're getting old players coming back, and that's just what this game is all about to me. Because 200 videos later, you can at least say that you can't tell me I was lazy. You can't tell me that I didn't respond to you guys. I mean, I gave it literally my all for 200 videos straight of this content, and saying, I'm here as a Yugi tuber. This channel is for you. I'm just the provider of the material. Let me share my knowledge with you. And that is honestly what I have been doing. I've been giving it my absolute all, so that you guys understand how much, this game means to me, how much the players in this game mean to me, and how much, I have left to learn. Like, people think that, like, I'm an expert on this game, and it's like, I appreciate that, but it's like, there's so many things I really don't know. I can't compete with like a judge who knows all their rulings, but when it comes to charisma, when it comes to being friendly, I mean, that's what I do best. I take everyone's suggestions, and I mean, if they're bad suggestions, if there's something that I know I'm not gonna, get any credit for doing, or it's something that's not gonna help my channel or help you guys out, I mean, I address it. People will know. If you send me something that I feel really isn't gonna help anyone out, I'm not gonna do it, just because I don't want to waste your guys' time. My channel isn't to waste your time. My channel is to to make you just a better player and understand this game on a deeper level. Like, this game has become such a big part of my life, and it's like, now I look at it as, I've reached pinnacles that I've wanted to reach for a really long time since I started. Starting out as a little kid, you don't know any better. You never know, what you can really achieve. You never know that you'll actually have people that listen to you, follow you, come to you for advice, ask you to be mentors. And that's something that, I can take with me, and I can say, I may not be the best player in the world, but I can at least say that I have a fan base, and I have people who actually care. Like, if I quit this game, I know there'd be an uproar. I know people would be like, Slim, you can't quit. And you know what? honestly, you guys, I'm not gonna quit. Like, that's not gonna happen anytime soon. And despite whatever happens, um, in this game, I'll probably never quit because it is a part of who I am. It's a part of what I do, and it's really become a big part of my life. And that's just it, you guys. That Yu-Gi-Oh is like life. You play to win. You play. Life is like a game, you guys. You decide. Am I gonna play to win, or am I gonna tap out when the cards look bad? That's honestly what Yu-Gi-Oh has taught me, is that you get one shot at life, and it's like you get so many chances in this game, to prove yourself. It's like, are you gonna step up, or are you gonna are you gonna quit? Are you gonna just like scoop it up every time, or are you really gonna play it out? Like, that's really what this game and just like the community has meant to me, like over the time that I've been playing. And like, I really got into the scene of it, as soon as I was up with Purple Panda. Like, we did that, and people now know me. People know me from my rants. They know me for all my content, and now I can say when I go to regionals and stuff, people will want to come and see me in my videos, and it'll be cool. I mean, that's what I look forward to as a player, and that's why this game means so much to me. Like I said, this is my 200th video, you guys. I have nothing but love for every single one of my subscribers. Thank you all so much. Like, really, like, I can't really, name you all. The only one I really want to give a big shout out to is my boy CJ and the Dueling Prodigies. He's been my homeboy, through this entire thing. He's one of the reasons why I started to get my subs up and people started to watch my channel, and him and I are the ones doing the contest now. So a big shout out to you, CJ, and all of the Dueling Prodigies. Let's just keep this thing going. We're doing a good thing. And just big shout out to everyone. Your suggestions keep me motivated. They keep me going. They keep me making videos. 10, 12 videos a day is nothing. 28 was the record, I think. When you think about that, how many YouTubers really do that? Think about that. How many have the patience to sit through hours and hours of content and, are just so calm about it? At the end of the day, I can say I can do that. I can do things that people can't do. And it's like, if this whole thing was a giant mixtape, it would be like #1. Because, like, where else are you going to get a guy that comes in here like every day like it's a job, which it is, to me. This is like a job, and I'm just giving you back what you want to hear. That's really what motivates me to do this, is that I know someone out there is listening to this video, and they'll say, damn, this guy knows his stuff. I can listen to this guy. He has good content. And for everyone that's ever said, like really nice things about my channel, thank you guys so much. This is just the beginning of what I have to offer you guys. And I'm not even so concerned with partnership anymore. Like, I thought it was all that it was cracked up to be in the future. And I really do want partnership in the future, but I mean, I'm not looking at the future right now. I'm looking at where we are right now and how far we've come. We've come 200 videos into this. You guys have watched every single one. I don't have any that have 0 views. I have very little dislikes, and I found out they were spam dislikes, so that's really interesting. So honestly, you guys, this is just the beginning. Thank you guys so much. I hope you guys will listen to this. This is just a personal thank you from me. I hope you guys understand why I play this game now. I've given you like all the reasons why, and I just hope you guys will continue to sub and just enjoy my content. So for the 200th time, I will say to you guys, thank you guys so much. Please continue to watch my videos. Leave the feedback below and just comment, rate, subscribe, and for the 200th time, thank you for watching.